governance, something related to voting. We'll be here to give you something to inspire you to go and vote come Saturday, December 7. Now let us take our motivational quotes for today. To our viewers so that they will go and vote.
Yeah, they need to vote. As we said, to ignore politics is to empower the corrupt.
Yeah.
Yes, we are not saying that any government or any leader is corrupt, but we want to tell them that go and exercise your civil rights. And in so doing, you put them accountable, you put them in check. So we just want viewers to understand that coming Saturday, nobody should stay at home. Don't be in your room. This is the only way you can hold our leaders accountable. I'll keep on saying this. It is not about the strike. It's not about any other thing. This is the right time for you also to hold our leaders accountable, because many of you express your grievances in vehicles. Yeah, when you are in trouble.
Hey.
Yesterday,
right?
A lot of things. People will say a lot of things. I think I was in the car with our sound engineer yesterday, and we were in traffic. Get almost 2 hours, and people were complaining. I told him, Charlie, this people should stop complaining. And
do
on
something.
7th December, if you think what is going on, you don't like it, go and exercise your franchise. If you like it, go
and exercise your franchise as well.
That's what I want to tell viewers, that go Saturday and vote for accountability. Vote for whoever you believe he can do the work. Don't stay at home sake of apathy. Don't think that you voted over the years and you are seeing nothing. Because of that, you won't vote. You shouldn't do that. Yeah.
So what about you?
Yeah, this particular quote is by Aristotle. And then this one also takes me back to what his teacher said, that's Plato. And he mentioned that the penalty for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. So this is also one that's directly linked to what we've actually talked about today. If you ignore politics, you are empowering the corrupt. So these are some same ideologies that go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So if you are not engaging yourself in politics, you are just sort of handing over your governance, handing over the trajectory of your future to people who you can maybe in quotes do better than, or to people who maybe don't think as deep as you are, and then you're empowering them to actually make a choice for you. So once again, this is an advocacy for each and everyone to exercise their franchise. Voting is not your right only, it's also your civic responsibility. You have to go out there and then go out there in your numbers and make sure that you are voting for the one that you deem fit to lead the country forward for the next days. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you can look at the caliber of other people that are not as educated as you are not as, maybe as enlightened as you are, or are not as exposed as you are. And then those are the people that are going to make the decision for you if you decide not to vote. So yes, if you decide not to engage in or participate in politics, then you end up being governed by your inferior. So this is one that we have to also think about and then step out in our numbers.
Wow, thank you so much. So lastly, I would add that a democracy is governance by the people. So as much as we think we have leaders, we are the ones that hold the power. We decide who is up there and who comes down. We decide whether to vote out somebody or to vote in somebody. So as much as, yes, they are the leaders, they look like they have the power, we are the ones that have the power. If all of us come together to impeach or to call for an impeachment, it will. So please, as much as we think it will take, the whole country protesting against maybe the government saying that, no, we don't want you again. Come on. You know, I think even in relation to the martial law in South Korea, you know how 190-0, the whole parliament just voting against, you know, so the power lies with the people. So let us remember that as we go out on Saturday, please do not sit at home and watch whatever is going on in your life fester. Do something about it. Don't allow people who are corrupt to overtake you and then, you know, stifle your life, stifle your progress. Thank you so much for today. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen, for the motivational quote. And I hope that as you go through your day, you spread positivity. Share this quote with somebody. Encourage a friend, encourage a brother, sister to also come out to vote on Saturday. Next is our online news review with, as usual, these same gentlemen, and we will be right back. Yeah, welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. And if you're just tuning in, this is the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. And we're about to have our online news review with two of my co-hosts, my very strong gentlemen, Clement Yabankwe and Mr. Nanayao Asari. Gentlemen, yes, it's us again. What's happening? What's trending? Election season, I'm sure there's a whole lot of news coming up. Can you share any bits that you've come across so far?
Yeah, so today, the major news outlet is the rallies.
Okay.
Final rally by New Patriotic Party and National Democratic Congress, which is happening at the same stretch. NPP is having it at Legon, the sports complex. NDC is having it at Medina, I think Zurich Park.
Okay.
Yeah, so this same area, already we know there is this kind of traffic, heated traffic already there for those around Atomic and all these places. And these two major parties also having their rallies at the same point. As a matter of fact, it is a great thing that we need to look at, especially people who live around Medina, those areas who comes to work and goes back. Today, as they need to leave office early. That's what I would say, because the kind of traffic that would be there, I doubt you get time.
Nobody has to leave office early. They have to perform their civic responsibilities.
Yes. So after performing your duty,
find alternative routes. Don't go early.
If we don't see you,
even up to Okunglo.
Okay.
So even up to Okunglo.
Okay.
So from where you refer to Okunglo, that means we have to actually start thinking about all routes around that.
Yeah, because I think I ended up having to use the Dodowa Road, and then I joined from the Usanta. That was much better, but
where do you live again?
Yeah.
Do you always come with your passports? Because I mean, it looks as though you guys are out of the country.
I won't say anything. I know where I'll get you.
Anyway.
Yeah. So rallies, yeah.
Yes.
So these rallies, how do they usually go about them? I remember seeing them on TV and things. They pick one place and then everybody from all over Ghana comes there, or is it restricted to Accra? How does it work?
So sometimes they convey supporters all over.
Okay.
But I know some of the regions or the constituencies, sake of their distance, they might also end up doing theirs at their various places. Yes, but mostly they convey people all over the country to come and support. That's what mostly they do. But I don't know how this time around they are going to do.
Okay. Then the traffic on the main roads.
It's going to be serious.
So please stay at work when you close at 5. Then you find an alternative route to go. It shouldn't be a record that Clock TV is advocating for people to close early.
No, we are not telling them to close it. But this thing, the security should have looked into it before granting them that place for running. These two main political parties, in terms of security-wise, it's not healthy for Ghana. Yes, so they should have looked into it very well before granting. I was following it quite, and according to NDC, they altered for a different place, but permission was not given. That's why they decided to go to Medina side. So it has already happened.
Even with Legon, sometimes when there's graduation, the whole city comes to a standstill, especially from even all the way from the Hacho area behind, even Gimpa, all the way to the main road. It's just traffic jam. So imagine a rally.
So yeah. So
well,
about that, and then the security concern that Clement actually brought up, it's actually something that we should actually be thinking about seriously, because how many security personnel are going to be at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium? That's the complex. It seats about over 30,000 people, and if that is done and it's managed properly, how many people security personnel are going to be posted over there in the Legon metropolis? And how many people just about some few meters away or kilometers away? That's the Medina. Zurich Park. They're all in the Medina environs. And then how many security personnel are also going to be over there as well? Talking about other sectors of the country too that will be going on as the Tema stretch, the La Paz stretch. Will security be compromised over there to make sure that it's...
I trust the Ghana police when it comes to that, because the security turnout that we saw during the Stop Galamsey tests, we have the personnel. I believe they will be able to deploy as many as possible.
I saw what you did over there. But anyway, it's something that we have to be very mindful of to make sure that security at other places are not that compromised. Because you realize that at certain traffic stops, whenever there is, for instance, when there was the voting exercise, usually around 4 p.m. at the Ghana National Fire Service, that stretch, you see policemen over there trying to direct traffic and all that. But when there was a special voting exercise, there was no police officer over there for that particular time that applied that route, which was within the hours of from 4 to about 6 o'clock. And it doesn't spell something good. So if we are going to sacrifice security and then traffic flow at various places just to make sure that other places are sorted out with the security personnel that are needed, then I don't think that we are doing the right thing because security is being compromised at other places to make sure that.
On that stretch, don't they have traffic lights that could handle the traffic flow?
They do, but the traffic lights and then almost every how do you call it?
Aside the traffic light, this one is also human traffic. This one another factor we need to look at.
No, but with the stretch he's talking about where the fire service is.
Okay. There are traffic lights over there, but you should ply that route around 4:30 or 5 p.m. And then you see
I use that route
the kind of traffic, because there's a lot of people are taking the left.
So basically they are not obeying the traffic lights there. So people have to. So we have our security personnel.
It's in such a case that even if you obey, right, the congestion, the road is too small for the number of cars that are applying the route. So if you even obey traffic rules, you end up. It's not feasible to obey traffic rules at that particular time because of the nature of the road. So that's being.
I mean, what you said, it will just digress the conversation, but that's fine. Okay, so
I have one last thing. One of the parliamentary candidates saying that when she comes to power, she's not going to take salary as member of parliament. And when she's paid salary, okay, let me make the point clear. Is that when she's paid salary, she's going to donate it to her constituents. And she's going to have a support system.
She shouldn't just take the salary.
Support system for
but if
so if she doesn't take it, where then does it go?
No, so she should just redirect it to.
But that's what he said. The support system.
She's saying that she will not take salary. That's one, and then two, if she's paid.
So I think maybe it was just the semantics. She's not going to spend it on herself.
Okay.
So she would use it for her. With these kinds of promises, because
as a sitting MP, when you will not need you will not well.
Okay, she's not a sitting MP.
No, as a sitting MP,
if she comes into power,
you will not need salary to because we know what our MPs do. We know the contracts and then the sublettings that they do and then what they get from it. Which one subletting will be able to get you. And then we have to be point blank. You sacrificing your salary does not mean that you are corruption free. So we have to also think about.
I think it's a good call she wants to do.
Yes.
If assuming all the MPs should follow the angle she's coming from, it's going to be very helpful. Yes, because the money she's going to have, she says that she's going to use as a support system for people who are in need.
Yeah.
I can bet you that to go back to the party and the
for that one.
For that we can't. Yes. But I think to an extent, yes. It sounds very idealistic and everything, but sometimes let's be realistic.
Yeah, when it comes to elections,
is she sure?
When it comes to elections, right?
Yes, politicians will say anything.
Appeal to your emotions.
Yes,
they appeal to certain things that they know that wait there, Oba, Ombedi, but that is not what actually happens. In terms of that, you and I, you know that we have even presidents that have come and said that do not take salaries. But when you compare the tenor of their president, it's okay. Let me not go.
So with what she's saying, like what you also said, that these MPs also tend to have other side.
Yeah.
It can be done, but of that much pure heart that her salary will fully be for that, and then maybe her other businesses and things would. If she, to those who would hear it, they will be happy, and we are just hoping that she will actually establish something, and then people can benefit from that. The people in need, yes.
So me, what I'm actually advocating for her to say, or what I want her to say, is that because what she wants to use the salary for, what she wants to use the salary for, the district common fund can be used for the same.
No. So, I think
so Clement has a story. Let us hear what.
Let me read a story. Let me read a story for you to get it. I don't want to mention the person's name.
Mention
that is why.
No. It's part of the story.
Yes, but it's to be a campaign.
If you don't mention me, I'll mention the person's name.
During my primary, I said that I don't know how much they pay MPs. It's in a live TV show to one of the media houses. I told my executive that the salary I will be paid as an MP, I will donate it to the constituency. I will donate my salary to my people to set up a fund to support those who need financial help. So this is something that she is saying. And I think the main reason why she's saying that is that she said she has a business which employs over 4,000 workers. And out of 4,000, she pays them every month. So looking at someone like this, she has the money, she has people that they work under her. So I think she's considering the fact that salaries anything. That's the angle she's coming from. Then the aspect that came from the common fund can do exactly what she. No, common fund, I think we have specific things common fund do. And I think MP common fund also has specific function that it does. Aside even MP common fund, sometimes we all hear that some constituents are in need of certain social amenities, basic amenities. And as at then, the common fund might not be in. So if an MP decides to use his salary or her salary to set up a fund like this to support his country, I think it's a good call. And I think if she's able to do it, I would also advocate that the rest of the MPs should do same. As Nana makes understand that they enjoy all sorts of benefits. I know Nana, yes, they enjoy a lot of benefits. So if they do enjoy a lot of benefits, then their money should at least be channeled to other.
I mean, it's humanitarian. It's not mandatory.
The person is
no.
You have to mention it. No. It's part of the story. The Memphis Central.
We have the online news here. And the very first story says, voter register in white truck.
You are mentioning it.
Nanayao, thank you.
No, don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you, Nanayao. So, voters register in white truck in viral video, not ours. This is by the Electoral Commission. So the Electoral Commission has urged the public to ignore a viral video on social media that shows what is claimed to be a voters register for Ahafo-Ano 1 and 2 being transported in a white pickup truck alongside other registers. In a statement released on Wednesday, the EC clarified that the register seen in the video is not an official document from the Commission, and they noted that their registers are in black and white and not in color as shown in the video. The Commission also stressed that the final register, which is given to political parties, is printed by the parties for their agents' use. Additionally, the EC clarified that the truck depicted in the video does not belong to them. So my very first question is, how are people getting the chance to print copies of the voters register? Is that something that's accessible to all?
I think so. Okay, Nana, take it.
Okay, so when it comes to this particular one, the EC made clear that for them, the ones that they give out, or the ones their own is black and white, but this particular one that was seen in the video is colored. So they are trying to say that this is not for them, and they make the register available to the political parties so that they can actually run their checks, and then so every political party has access to the voters register. But the one that is for the EC that they are going to use, they made mention that in the story that the car that they were using was the car that was the pickup truck that was being used to transport the register was not theirs. They also made mention that the color, the quality or the voters register that was displayed in or seen in the videos were not theirs, because theirs is black and white.
Yes, but my question is, how come people
they make available to the political parties for them to also do their
So
checks.
who has printed this colored one? That's the question we should ask.
So that is the question that we should ask, as you are saying. And then in doing so, what is they are actually calling on the police to actually investigate the matter. That's what's his name? The man who actually gave this particular statement. He is the I think, head of operations or deputy head of operations.
No, I think deputy chairman. Okay.
Operations for the EC, and he made mention that the police has to investigate this, and it's a very serious thing. Because why would you do that and claim that it is maybe the EC that is doing this? And
So as you mentioned that, they said they make it accessible to the political parties.
Yes.
So does that mean it is somebody from one of these political parties that is doing this? And what are the punitive measures going to be put in place? Because if it's being colored, because it's Aban, we may feel like, okay, it's genuine, and then these innocent people how many people even have access to the media to be able to know that, okay, this thing is not even the original one from the EC and things like that. So what is being done? How come this has gotten this far as well?
So I think.
Oh yeah, come in.
Yeah. So when you look at the statement, EC says that they give the voters register to political parties, and that was the point. So the political parties have the right to reprint, make copies, and give it to their party agent. So it could be, if this is not from the EC, then it might be from a political party.
It's definitely from a political party.
Okay, so if it is, who is it and why is that?
That is why the head of operations called for investigations into that particular matter.
So I think now we need to let viewers understand, when you go to the polling station and you realize that the voters register is colored, you should get to know that it's not from EC, and it's not the right voters register.
Exactly.
So you can insist that you not partake
but then
in the
also,
whole
do we have?
But the voters register is just supposed to show.
Yes, your identity.
Yes, not necessarily going to allow you or disallow you from voting.
But then the ID is there. You know, this Ghana here, we are magicians. A lot of things can be done. You just this Tuesday, we spoke about how somebody used someone else's ID to vote.
Yeah.
The original person comes and is unable to vote. So now a register is a little accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
What do you think could come out of this? And I also wanted to ask that, is there a possibility that there can be some sort of measure put in place that, okay, if EC gives all the political parties one copy each, if they want to remake copies, they should seek some form of permission from the EC before making these copies, so that there can be some sort of supervisory roles played there to know that, okay, maybe every what's the name of those? You know, the political parties have some sort of headquarters in every region and things like that. Every constituency or something has maybe one copy for their general use. So maybe since we have 275, it's just 275 extra copies each or something like that.
But this is in print. So, it's in print. So in regulating print will be very difficult. So what they've done is that they've given you access to it. And you having access to it does not mean you can use it to deny someone from voting. You have access to it because you want to check or let your party agents be able to check the validity of maybe every voter that will be coming there to find out whether they are supposed to be there and all that. And you go to the EC desk, you see that the EC people are there, the party agents too are also there. So this is sort of to verify that you are indeed supposed to vote. And in doing so, you are doing that without interfering in the voting process. That is why the EC gave the chance for it to be printed. And I think that it's fair that you'll be given the chance to have, as a political party, to have the copies that you need, and then to use it as it deems fit for your political party.
But with this one being transported, what is the reason? What is the aim? The whole process of that being transported, there are questions.
Yeah, so I think Nana raised a point that we don't need a political party who's responsible for that. And as Nana said, when it's given to the political parties, they make copies to their party agents. So assuming if, let's say, Oduduo constituency, they've gotten their voters register, it's given to them per polling station. It's not. It doesn't come a whole one for the whole constituency, but polling station by polling station. So if polling station by polling station, then the political parties need to do copies of a polling station by polling station for their party agents, as Nana said, so that they can also check the validity of whoever is coming to vote. I think moving forward, what they are supposed to do to differentiate that this register is for political party A, political party B, they can use their colors in terms of printing.
So once you say that as well, if I want to cause mischief, and I know I'm with a political party B with color blue, then I'll just print and make sure that it is color red, or change the color to color
These
red.
are all
and
things,
then cause some mischief.
you know.
But then now you talked about punitive actions, and then this particular thing, when I was reading on it, I realized that there's no specific punitive action for transporting of voter register when it's given to you. But what's the punitive action on is stated in Article 157 of the Criminal Offences Act, and it says that a publication of false information that can disturb public peace. And this particular thing was done with the intention of disturbing public peace. So that is why the head of operations was calling for an investigation into the matter. And then he also made mention that the number plates of the vehicle that was used, or the pickup truck that was being used to transport the register, was clearly shown in the video. The color was clearly shown. So when it will be easy for the police.
So then we should be hearing something today.
On this particular one.
Yeah.
So the next story here says traders reject proposal to close KJTR market on December 7. So traders at the KJTR market in Kumasi have turned down a proposal to close the market on election day, December 7, 2024, stating that such a closure would significantly affect their livelihoods, especially given the current difficult economic conditions. And this rejection followed a suggestion made by Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, the Democratic Party's running mate, during a meeting with the market representatives at the Kumasi Culture Center. In a statement on December 3, the concerned traders rejected the proposal, asserting that they found no reason to support it. Despite their initial dismissal, the traders alleged that the Kumasi Mayor, Samuel Pine, has directed the market management to implement the closure on election day. I think I agree with the traders, because
so my point is, why would the
running mate okay.
such proposal?
Well,
Why?
considering, you know, the whole country, we are all going to vote, you know, like just to have some sort of relaxation after voting, just go home and go and rest, no economic activities and anything hectic, just go and reflect on what you want to do in the polling station.
I would have been very glad if he put out the reasons why he wants them to do that. If the reason was there, I could have spoken to the issue. But
since the reason is a big elephant in the room and that we are all not talking about. So the reason is that KJTR and Kumasi in itself is one of the hot spots for MPP. And then we've all heard agitations from the market women about saying that they do not want to vote, they will not vote because they've been ostracized by this particular government. So what this in particular is about, every time the voter turnout in Kumasi is over 70%. The majority is from the KJTR market environs. Okay. Those are the people that are going to vote. Historically, when you look at all the times that MPP won, in 2016, over 73.5%. In 2020, 72.5% from the KJTR market. That's the voter turnout. And in this particular period of time, we know that the MPP wants, there's an assertion that the MPP want to rack up votes from the Ashanti region, and if they get 74% from the Ashanti region, they are likely to be crowned or to be the winners of this particular election. And this is a ploy to not a ploy, but this is a plan for them to actually
allegedly.
Yes, because it's up there. It's not alleged because he said it.
Ew.
So this is a plan for them to sort of meet that particular 74%. So if the KJTR market people say that they are not going to work and are all going to vote, then it's likely that they are going to see the 70% plus turnout,
well,
which is likely to contribute to the overall 74% of the Ashanti region that they are looking at.
But then
the areas that he actually mentioned was the KJ market and then also the Bantama market. So these are the areas that are densely populated. And then almost when you look at those areas, they are densely populated areas in the Ashanti region. And we all know that the Ashanti region is a place that the MPP is dominant in.
Yeah.
So, this is a plan for them to meet up that they are 74%. And I think there are various avenues that trying to do this. This is what has come to the limelight, or this is what has come out.
Well, I agree with them in the sense that voting does not take that long on an ideal day. So you get in, get out within maybe 20 to 30 minutes. You can go back to your daily life. So economic activity that, because I think the market women, it's daily bread for them. The daily
a densely
sales.
populated area like that has over 120,000 people going to vote with limited BVD devices, BVDs and all that.
So provisions should be made for that, to accommodate all of that.
Of maybe there being a technical issue, network issue from the DVD.
Regardless, it's not going to take 24 hours, so they can go and continue.
That's why he wants them to close down the market so that everybody will go and vote.
I thank God Nana has brought out the reason behind the closure of the market. But my major concern is about, did they consider the economic impact?
Businessman, thank you very much. So before I even wanted to talk about, I wanted to hit on that.
So let Clement make his point.
So then I'll not make the point. Then
make your point. Make your point.
So the first point is, did they consider the economic impact of what they want to do? One, it is, as you said, it's a daily bread of someone, daily income. And we know our mothers, they survive on this daily market activities for a living. So if you are taking away their daily activity or daily bread from them, what are you providing to them? What's the other alternative giving them?
If they share food, you say wahala.
So I'm coming. And at the end of the day, there is one thing that is going to happen within that short possible time in terms of demand and supply. Since the supply will be very limited, the demand is going to be high. Whenever demand is high, it pushes prices very high. So
and even the day before, Friday, is a holiday.
So I wouldn't be surprised if within that short possible time, Kumasi starts to experience
short-term inflation.
Short-put inflation. I won't be surprised with that.
Well,
the last thing I just want to say is that in as much as you want to do this, market women they've agitated that, let's still go and work. At the end of the day, we will go out to vote. One thing they should understand, our politicians should understand, that if they still insist, people will use this kind of apathy and demotivation and end up not voting for them. That is one area they should also look at, in as much as they want them to vote. If they are demotivated, they are going to lose that number of votes from the people of Kumasi. So these are the few things. I wrote a lot, but these are the few things.
Let me take some comments, then we wrap up. So this one is from Ghana Tertiary Excellence Awards. It says, good morning. Stage Africa says, good morning, Clock TV. I'm Kay, watching you live from Taifa. Then D&J Venture says, good morning to you all. Good morning. And then Michael Amweni is asking, good morning, Clock TV. Will we be receiving coverage on the final rallies? I hope so. So he says, hope yes. So, yes. So we'll be, okay. So according to our presenters here, we'll be bringing you live coverage of the rallies. Thank you so much for your comments. And of course, thank you so much for joining me here for the online and newspaper review. Up next is the lifestyle segment, and we have a guest here. He's written a peace song, and we'll be interacting with him a little to find out all about it, and we'll even play it. So just stay right here. Don't go anywhere. Yes, you're welcome back to Cocoa Digest Morning Show, and I'm sure it's surprising to see me here, but I'm filling in for Miriam Abna Didi. And as you know, here on the lifestyle segment, we bring to you everything concerning your life, your entertainment as well. And you saw or you heard the music video or watched the music video that was being played, that was by our very own OD4, and now he has rebranded as Marvelous, and he's here with us in the studios. Good morning, OD4.
Greetings, Your Highness.
Your Highness, oh, thank you. It's such a pleasure to have you here with us, and we would just like to say thank you so much for granting us audience with you today.
Welcome, and thanks for having me.
Yes, okay. So you're here with us, and I mean, the Gen Zs don't know you. The millennials, yes, we the older ones, yes.
So who even brought about the word Gen Z? What does that mean?
I think it's because of the times they were born.
Is it the Z generation or?
It looks like it, yes.
Generation Z. Oh, okay, maybe. That's how I'm taking
yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been in the music industry for a while, and then for some time you went on a hiatus. Okay, no, before that though, what's your real name? OD4. Who is OD4?
OD4 is, I don't want to mention the, they say Christian name.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's on paper, so I have to. It's Henry Ejay Jamra. But
okay.
in actual sense, I'm Kumenyini Ejay Jamra.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, Henry, wow.
I attended from home secondary.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Okay. So quickly, back into the music industry. You've been around for a while, and then we weren't hearing from you much. Where were you? Were you getting like a medical degree or something?
You seem to be a prophetess. So. Yeah, because I was doing music.
Okay.
Yeah, I was doing music, but not. I wasn't that active.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't that active in it. So I traveled for some performances, and then I came back, and then I went again. Then I had to study the grounds to see whether I can still stay or. So looking into things, I had to come back to study medicine in tradition.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'm one person who loves to who loves the traditional medicines much. I'm not good. Each time I take the other medicines, I get some how do you call it, reactions.
Yeah.
So I delve more into the traditional.
Oh, okay.
So I had masters who trained me, like whom I've been under for a very and I studied for a very long time. It's been about like a decade, of doing that. So now we have our own place now.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm a qualified traditional doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is what I was doing. Then alongside, I was also still doing my dance hall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it got to a time I was doing more dance hall than the hip life, and so I was connecting more with the other African countries and outside Ghana.
Oh,
Let me put it
okay,
that way.
okay. Then you've been busy.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Wow.
Music has never left me. So,
Okay.
no matter what I do, I still connect to music.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Marvelous.
Yes.
Why Marvelous?
And then the Marvelous is spelled M-A-V-L-U-Z.
Okay.
Z, not the normal Marvelous.
Oh, okay.
Spellings, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marvelous because, you see, OD4 had many strings attached to it, yeah, which wasn't helping, like, in one way or the other. Even though OD4 has done its part, yeah, but it got to a time when I wanted to, like, really, like, connect, worldwide. Let me put it that way. Yeah, so OD4 was limited only to, like, hip life, like Ghana.
Okay.
OD4 was limited to only Ghana. So when going into that terrain, I was about to do, like, an unusual me that the Ghanaians really know.
Okay.
So we needed a new name, yeah, because the OD4, the string attached to it was. People sometimes ask you, are you four in a group?
Yeah.
Are you this? What was the meaning of OD4? So we wanted a name that speaks for itself. So
Okay.
we arrived at Marvelous.
Okay.
Yes, and then Marvelous is an upgraded version of OD4.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's nice. Really beautiful. So you've come back into the music scene with a peace song, you know, with regards to our upcoming elections.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to create the song? I mean, generally, we know it's peace, but...
Yeah, actually what inspired me, see, as a musician, yeah, what I have is my voice.
Okay.
Yes. So looking into things, we all enjoy the peace in this country. Yeah. So why, if something is going on, or if we are entering a season whereby I can contribute my part to strengthen the peace. Yeah. Whereas whereby where we are entering right now is very, very, very what's the word to use? It's very sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very sensitive. So I thought it wise to connect with my inner self to get a song that can really
Speak
like
to
this is
us.
speak
Yeah.
to the youth especially, to give people like a wake-up call. To give them a wake-up call. So I tackled, if you listen deep into the song, you see that I didn't tackle only the civilians. I had to talk to the civilians. I have to let them be aware of what is actually happening. And afterwards, then it goes along, then I was advising, I was giving a piece of advice to our leaders as well, or our leaders.
So
as
that even leads me into my next question about what are some of the messages you hope that the listeners pick up from your songs?
Yeah, because the song is talking about. It talks about. Let me put it in our dialect. It goes like this. Then the civilians will say, the title is I'm not part. Like, the leaders are our elders. Let me put it this way, because it goes beyond, like, politics. Yeah, it's like our elders are fighting. Even chieftaincies and all that is happening. So our elders are fighting. So how much more like we, the
younger ones,
the younger one, what are we going to do? That is what the song is talking about. And I was saying, by the time that you get injured, or as you get injured, the person that you are fighting for might be sleeping and enjoying himself somewhere.
Yeah.
He does not even know you. So why do you have to indulge in this kind of violence or acts to go and lose your life or get, like, deformed or any
even lose
casualty.
property and things?
Yes, you understand.
Okay.
So and then I was talking to the leaders too, that they have to accept if you lose, you have to accept it. yeah, if you don't win, no matter what, there's a next time for you. So do not cause any confusion.
Okay, so you heard from our very own Marvelous. He's also telling us we shouldn't lose our lives just because of partisan politics, and then also our leaders concede defeat. If you are defeated, next time you try again. But we have the song Menkahobi, right?
Yeah, Menkahobi.
Yes, so let us have a preview of the song up now. I really, really love the song. I love how it speaks to every faction of society, from the leaders to the last person, from the older generation and even the younger generation. This is an amazing song. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I picked up especially the thing about the military rule. That's what stood out to me, because these days we've been hearing people talking about the soldiers should come and take over. Democracy is not working for us. What inspired you to, try to capture that in your song, to imagine the curfew and things like that?
Yeah, you see, I'm trying to wake them up. Sometimes people say things without not seeing, getting the foresight of or how it actually is going to be like. So I'm telling you, if you easily hear people say, then the besi. Are you really sure the besi you'll be like you will love it? You're going to love it. You get a point now. Yeah. So then, if the besi, let me tell you what the besi means. If the besi if what will happen happens, then we are going to go on curfew. You're not going to get food to eat. Your mom might die. You wouldn't get any place to sleep. I'm trying to break down the sufferings or the separations that we're going to go through, or you're going to go through, if what you are calling out for happens to manifest. Yes. So that's the real picture that I wanted to give the listeners.
I love that you captured it, especially with even the video, the optics, the scenes with the polling station, the fighting over ballots and things like that. And then I also love that the Menkahobi, because it's the mentality of a lot of Ghanaians. They think that a lot of these things don't concern them, but they are actually suffering. They are actually even the ones affected the most. And I think you mentioned that, they cut your hand, and your MP is in his room with his wife. He doesn't care. He doesn't even know. Yes.
Yeah, and he doesn't even know you. So these are the things that I'm trying to bring their minds on. That this is the actual things on the grounds. So be wise.
Yeah. So you heard from Odi4, be wise. Now we have some comments. Big family audience says, Odi4, I see you. And
I hear you too.
And we have ABK TV says, hey, Odi4, where have you been? I see you keep, Papa. Anyway, good to see you again. Then Ross Lala says, we need peace in our country, Ghana, bro. Keep going.
Yo, Ross Lala, speak up yourself.
Thank you so much for your comments. Please keep them coming as well. So now, in your opinion, with music, what role do you think that it would play in fostering peace, concerning the upcoming elections?
Music, as in my music?
Yeah, your music in general. Because, I mean, aside your peace song, we have other peace songs also coming up.
Oh, yeah. I applaud all of them. See, everybody is doing his or her part to contribute to the stability of peace in our nation. So every song is going to play a very important role. Yes, because the message that I'm carrying out, or the message that the next person is carrying out, everybody has got their diverse ways of delivering messages. Yeah, maybe the way I would deliver the message to you, a message to you might be hard, so you might not consume it.
Yeah.
But the next person might deliver the message to you in a very soft way, which maybe you connect to that type more. Some people absorb information when it's in the soft way. and others too, unless you go the hard way before you're going to pick up. Yeah, so every song is going to play its role that it's supposed to play.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe in that.
Okay, so Akma TV also says, Up and Awake, this election song is fire. Yes, that's very true. So, one more question, and
you can ask any question that you want.
So how do you plan to engage the community with this song? I mean, aside the general playing, would you have any concerts, you know, some peace concerts for us to come reduce the price of the tickets?
No, I've already performed on the musical peace concert. I already done that, and we are promoting it on social media. Yeah, for it to go as viral as it can go. And I think just within 3 days, it was close up to even 22K.
Okay,
yeah,
wow.
So I think a lot of people have seen, because it carries a very strong message, which I know anybody who watches is definitely going to be, it's going to get an impact on them. Yeah, so we're trying that. But I'm also open for shows. If any peace concert.
Okay,
I'm open for all that.
So, the feedback so far, how has it been? I mean, aside the 22K, what about the feedback?
No, many of the TV stations are like willingly like playing it, like showing it. Yes, and anybody who wants to play a part, and help in any way that he or she can to help the song to go viral. Yeah. So that is what I'm seeing now, because even Adum TV played yesterday. Okay. Yeah, and then one FM station just called me, I think today. So last night, after I have to go for an interview. Okay. A very big radio station as well. So they are patronizing it.
Oh, that's great. That's lovely to hear.
It's worth working for. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so what are your last words or your closing remarks on the show to our viewers and, of course, to Ghanaians as a whole?
Okay.
So when you finish our name, give us freestyle, then we sign out.
Yeah. So I want everybody to put it up upon yourself that it is mandatory. It is your responsibility to protect the peace that we have in the country. Yeah, that is one thing that I want to tell everybody. Protect the peace that we have here. And we should let love reign in our hearts. Yeah, because you see me, you see your brother. I see you, I see my sister. Yeah, so that is what I'm telling each and everybody who is listening to us, right, or watching us right now. Yeah, and then the next thing I would like to say is, Marvelous, stream Marvelous. Yeah, the name is MAVLUZ. Yeah, OD4 is now Marvelous. Then Marvelous is OD4 is Marvelous and Marvelous is OD4. That's what they normally say. Yeah. So like it's the same person. Yeah. So they should stream my song on all social media platforms. Okay. So Marvelous on all social media platforms. So can we get it on Spotify, Apple Music, all of the? So you can get his songs on all the streaming platforms. You can find him on all social media as well. Yeah, they shouldn't forget the spellings. MAVLUZ. Yeah. Okay, so we have more comments. This one says, I love this OD4 song. We need more of this. More fire, bro. Then Emprex L. Francine says, the talented man is back with more fire. Love you. Then TA also says, you look good today. OD4, I see you and good song. Thank you so much for your comments. You can keep them coming in. Now, OD4, we can't have you sign out without a freestyle. As you are back there, you have to leave with a banger. I've done some performances. You see, I've even have a crack voice. Oh, don't worry. We'll give you honey after the show. Okay. Then after the show, then I give you the our viewers want freestyle. Okay, which one? Any song. I mean, okay, maybe. Which one do you want? You tell me. The peace song, yes. It says, then I'm going to do that with you. You do the main count. Okay. Yem penny for ye kun, any yen so ye be ye dien. Main count Ghana for ye mamon when I sent to Kaba, penny for ye in Kumbio.
Main count view.
It is a kind of counsa, MPBD, or any wish them. Main count view. About you do them, Mr. President, never give a damn.
Main count view.
Or any MP, or Tilan Cruiser, Yimo Bonnie AC.
Main count view.
Yashimi, meaning I'm daddy, pocket empty.
Main count view.
So what I say? Then he said, imagine Sento Kwesi Ghana, Ufrejuma Bebano, na ye kumu mama.
Main count view.
Imagine Sento Kwesi Ghana, a combe bama, Uber for mama. You understand? So,
wow, thank you so much.
Peace. Yeah.
So our very own Odifo is telling us, let us protect the peace as we go out to exercise our franchise. Thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome.
And thank you on behalf of all Ghanaians for your beautiful peace song. And we hope to hear more of you.
Yes.
Next is our birthday segment, and we will be right back.
I heard today was your birthday. I heard today was your birthday. I heard today was your birthday. I heard today was your birthday.
It's time for our birthday segment, and on this segment we celebrate your loved ones and on their special days. So let's take our very first birthday. So this is from me to my friend. Happy birthday to the most amazing friend life could ever gift anyone, Daniel Ampofo. And there aren't enough words to describe how much I love and appreciate you. Thank you for existing and being a part of my life. God bless you abundantly. Now the next one is, this one says, happy birthday to my wonderful friend who feels like a sister. Your energy lights up every room and brings joy to everyone of Clog TV. So this is all we have for you on the birthday segment. Thank you so much for joining us. Next is the main discussion. We're continuing the matters arising with regards to the upcoming December 7 elections. You're welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. And if you're just tuning in, this is the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. And we're about having our main discussion. We are doing a part 3 of the matters arising in relation to our upcoming general elections. And with me here are 2 of our analysts in the persons of Mr. Randolph Ifrifa Owari and Mr. Nanayao Asari. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
So, Randolph, I hope you're well.
Yes, very fine, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing okay myself. So, we have just one more day to elections. What are some of your hopes and anticipations?
Well, thank you to your viewers and also to you as well. In fact, there's actually going to be historic elections, and it has never happened before because both parties have crossed the 16 years of regime.
Yeah.
That is, NDC have gotten 16 years after we came to the fourth republic. Then NPP has also gotten 16 years. And population have the chance to weigh the 2 parties and then to be able to make a decisive decision that will propel the country into the next stage of our existence. And here, President Mahama, who is vying for the NDC, has actually been a president before. Ex-President Mahama. Thank you for that correction. Ex-President Mahama. Ex-President Mahama, who has been a president before, is and for the first time, he has actually done his bit in the past. He's been a vice president before, minister, vice president, has been a president and went back, and now he wants to come back. It has never happened in our history. Even in Africa, it's difficult to even have that experience. The other aspect to the vice president, and for the first time, the most proactive vice president Ghana has ever had.
The most what?
The most proactive
and
very active.
So when you are,
let me make my point.
When you are making these points,
yes,
you add, in my opinion,
because
things like that, so that
proactive in the sense that he was the chairman of the Economic Planning Committee, and then he's
okay. Let's have Randolph finish his own.
You finish,
but then what I'm is that to be very frank with you, he has been vice president who has been very proactive in terms of, has been active in actually office in terms of even initiating certain major stuff as a vice president. If you look at successive vice presidents, most of them haven't had, why?
Yes, I'm listening.
But I don't want us to be political. I don't want us to be political. But it's not as though he's done something that has never been done.
No, let's not talk that. It's just about his anticipations, right?
Yeah. I'm actually analyzing what I think. So,
gentlemen, let's Randolph finish.
Let me land. So, the vice president, we can all see what he's done or what he's been up to. And then he also vying for this presidency makes it very tough because it's more or less like someone, he's been just like you can see the president functioning. And so just opposing him and then the former President Mahama into this election has made it very crucial because he is hoping to break the 8 for NPP, and President Mahama also looking up to a comeback is actually a very tough something that the Ghanaian population are looking up to see. But then coming from, I was coming from the North Legon, let me say in my live today, and seeing how both parties are gearing up towards their final campaign. It means the anticipation is so high. People are looking up to something great. And you see, both parties are actually looking at, I had a chance yesterday, last night, to visit the 2 parties campaign grounds, the NPP and NDC. And in fact, the seriousness and the preparation they have put into it, and I must say, this very campaign has been the most invested or highly invested campaign by the two parties. You can see their strategies they have used, they have deployed, and all the things they are doing shows that this is a very crucial election for them. Even looking at the places they have picked to hold their campaigns tells us that their final campaign tells us that the expectations are very high, and as both parties, where one is handling Ayawaso Wuogon, looking at the stakes in Ayawaso Wuogon, because in the last elections, if you look at the figures from the both parties in terms of Ayawaso Wuogon, the difference was a little over 2,000 votes between Seiram, Honorable Seiram Al-Hassan, and then John Dumelo. And so that is a place where they are looking at to even get back the seat.
That is for the parliamentary.
For the parliamentary. Yeah. And looking at even presidential too, I think the NPP got the presidential as well.
The NPP has never lost the West Wuogon seat.
Yes.
When it comes to the presidential primaries, as well as the parliamentary.
As well.
The closest that it has ever been was 2020 when John Dumelo came onto the scene. And
and looking at the trends that even during every elections, the incumbent parties normally lose some kind of vote. And so I know based on that, they are actually trying to protect that very constituency. And the reason why they sent that, could be one of the reasons why they sent their campaign there.
Yes, and when you look at, just to reiterate what you're talking about, when you look at that particular seat, I think the reason why they want to get it as much as possible is where it finds itself, and the kind of investments that goes on in that particular region. It's the same region that you have the airport. It's the same region that you have East Legon.
The constituency. The same constituency.
That you have East Legon. The same constituency that you have GMPC headquarters.
I'm angry with them because of the traffic they are about to bring.
In fact, for the traffic, I mean, the Ghana police has also done well. In fact, in their statement released last night, they made it known that, in fact, they made all things possible to see if they could, the two parties can change their locations due to the, I mean, they are so close, but then they said they have made enough arrangement. They couldn't do it because of the time. And they've all been able to establish the reason why they, to use those routes. And so, in fact, they've actually come up with routes that will, I mean, minimize the traffic situation. But in fact, that will be very difficult.
Yes, so the when I was mentioned are all feeder roads, which are not major, and almost all of them too are not in the best condition. When you look at the road that is leading from even from the side to Race Junction, before you get to the junction, you look at the state of that particular road. But then again, to reiterate or to just ask a question on what you were talking about, security has become a concern. In this particular one, was security supposed to be paramount to the opinions of the political parties that they have chosen these places? Because security has to be paramount. If one of them had chosen to do it at the Accra Sports Stadium and then the other at the Legon Stadium, looking at the distance between them, that would have been imaginable. In fact, now looking at both of them, not saying that I don't want to do it away because I've invested and all that. As the Ghana, right, you have the mandate to protect citizens. So I think, I think it is just right that irrespective of their opinions and irrespective of their schedules and their investments that they've made, I think the decision of Ghana Police should have been held paramount than just to sort of try and manage the situation, because it's just not safe for NDC and NPP be having
the same campaigns in the same
just about 5 kilometers. And this is going to house over maybe 40,000 people per place. So if they are done and then they are commuting on their way back, these are different political ideologies. If there are clashes on their way,
Yes, well, that's why we have our peace songs and things telling
Yes.
citizens that you don't need to lose your life and property for the sake
But
of
when
these
it comes to
political parties.
interest, the people with these things, it may change.
but you
it
see-
happens. We talk about
So
it.
it is possible to have the rallies happen,
It is possible
and then
to-
when, please, it is possible to the term. Yes, it is usable. Then let me should I?
It's feasible.
Feasible.
Yeah.
It can happen.
You
that
feel free. If it is possible, say it.
You're sort of making me
Let me breathe.
think that you are going towards a certain particular line.
We are all
just leave it
entitled to our political identities and ideologies, but
Yeah.
here we are non-partisan.
No, I mean, this is
we
not
are using
Yeah.
English words as so it is possible for us to have these rallies go on, and then everybody is returning to their various homes or whatever, and we can live peacefully. Nobody is going to so I mean, the general public would be probably doing things like heckling one another, especially when the cars are passing by, but they can do all of it, and then they can just go without having to, what's the word, fight each other, if what I'm saying makes any sense. But let's go quickly into this very special story here. So this is Chairman Ting's call for rejection of the geopolitical system, and he outlines a transformational plan. So Independent presidential candidate Alan Chairman Ting has urged Ghanaians to reject the two major political parties, citing their failures to address key issues such as unemployment and power outages. He presented his Great Transformational Plan, GTP, as a superior alternative focusing on economic revitalization, job creation, and sustainable industrial and agricultural growth. Chairman Ting highlighted his plan to address challenges in agriculture, particularly in the central region, and his commitment to tackling illegal mining known as galamsey by empowering the youth in responsible mining practices. And he has also proposed constitutional reforms to decentralize power and enhance the role of traditional authorities. So, Alan says we should reject MPP NDC. What are our takes on this?
Are we in a position now to have, in as much as possible, what I would call a third force in play? Are we in a position where we can actually sort of accept the third force? Because in Ghana we've actually tried the duopoly. The closest to breaking the duopoly was CPP. And even with that, the highest amount of points, percentage in terms of the percentage of voters that they were able to rack up was less than 10%. So was less than 5%, I should say. So if you are saying you want to break the duopoly, and this has been a long time coming. CPP has been in existence for time immemorial, and now NDC, MPP have come to the fore. And it seems Ghanaians have sort of identified with their ideologies, have identified for so many various reasons, which may not be political. But then before Alan Chairman Ting comes in to actually tell us that his Great Transformational Plan and all that, the plans are there, and they are quite interesting. When you look at them, it looks as though it's very in-depth, because it looks as someone who is really experienced in terms of governance, and then what he has to offer to Ghanaians. But the question is not just what he has to offer, but is the belief of Ghanaian the citizenry. Our beliefs aligned to what he wants to sort of achieve. Are we ready? Is he also ready in terms of personnel-wise? Is he ready in terms of the number of people that will be on his sort of executive team and all that? Won't he?
Well, he would have those plans already in place, because he's been able to run. He wants to run. So
if you are running, right, for parliament, we would end up having NPP and NDC in parliament. We would have to take about over 60% of ministers from parliament. And when we do all those things, are we actually ready? Because Alan Chairman Ting does not have member of parliament in all 275 constituencies. And even if he does, are they going to be the majority in Parliament, are they going to be able to carry his vision along whenever that happens? So these are things that we need to think about before we talk about breaking the duopoly. We can have someone who is at the apex seat of government, which is the executive, and then the legislature or parliament would not be in support of that. And we've seen that quite a few times in recent times, talking about the majority and minority in parliament. All these things come to play before we'll be able to know whether we are ready for the duopoly or we are ready to do away with the duopoly.
But you know, Ghana, we are a multi-party system. We are not a two-party system,
Yes.
right? So him coming out to say we should reject it, it may not necessarily even have to be much about whether he's prepared or anything, but just that we have, like Randolph said, each of these two main parties have had, is it 16 years each, right? Now,
in the Fourth Republic.
Yes, and maybe even previously, okay, well, we had the military war and all that, but in this Fourth Republic, 16 years each, and we have basically seen maybe Omachero Mutumi, for lack of a better, explanation. Why not give someone else a chance? Like you said, even CPP was the only force or something, but even that part of issues, and then it fell apart, and they are no longer as formidable as we would term them back in the day. So I mean, him, breaking away from starting his own political party. Even if he doesn't win now, if Ghanaians are to rally behind him, give him the support, and then grow this party, at least by the next 4 years, he should be able to have a fighting chance. Or what do you think, Randolph?
In fact, thank you very much. You see, we are supposed to, I understand, I mean, Mr. Chimanten is a hardworking man. He served under the NPP. He was actually a member until was the dissatisfactions where he has to go and then start his own party. But then he may have, you see, Ghana, we've gotten to a stage where just like any other developed country, there is always two major parties that actually take care of the entire country. When you go to US, when you go to developed countries, there are two parties that the have lived up to times, and the people have trust in them in managing their country.
Yeah.
And so we haven't gotten to a stage where we would need maybe the people will accept a third force currently, as we are currently. I mean, we are practicing multi-party democracy, but then the two parties have a tradition, and the tradition is taking them, is moving with them. So it will take some years for us to get to the third force. Even someone must come with a convincing, every aspect in terms of policy and the person's credibility. Yeah. And it is not built in a day. It happens for so many years before you'll be able to achieve that. You see, Ghana is not just like, we are not practicing a kind of half-baked democracy. Sometimes I even see it's more democracy even than the people who brought it. And so we've come to accept and I understand that the multi-party democracy we are actually experiencing is good, but we trust two people or two parties, and those are the people we believe have the policies, have the men, and have the resources to be able to execute whatever project we have. And this has been a tradition. So if an individual is coming, the thing is that on which basis or who are the people behind him? For the NDC, people know the people behind, we Ghanaians know the people behind the NDC. That should the NDC win power, the possible people who are trusted to be ruling the government are this. NDC, NPP is equally known. But then, the third people or the subsequent, let me say, the other parties, who are they? They are unknown. Some came with covered faces. I mean, so where then do we build the trust? And it will take some time. So Ghana
it will take some time, yes.
So it's not going to be a one-stop thing. So
I mean, he can build, if he's truly serious, he can build it over the 4 years so that the next time...
It's not easy.
Yes, of course,
because
it's not easy.
You see, Ghana, our system goes with tradition. And it is not easy for an individual to break that tradition. But a lot goes into elections.
Yeah.
Resource-wise and human capital also. And in fact, it is not easy. Look at the campaigns they are running. One individual would be difficult to run that campaign.
Yeah, that's true. So I want to ask a question based on the credibility issue. Alan, Alan Cash, he's been affiliated with MPP for as long as most of us can remember. And now breaking away from MPP to start his own political party, do you think that that can actually, affect his credibility, for his party, where people would say, Naoka, say, you MPP for a long time, you've been a minister, you've held positions. So, because I think with the issue of unemployment and things like that, I think I saw a post where they were saying that the unemployment and things he was mentioning, he has been in it, he has also been part of that system of government for the past 16 years that MPP has been in power.
But for that, I understand he will say probably I wasn't the president. But then...
Not the president.
Yeah.
We would have to look at the things that were under his care.
Yes, but the whole basis of it is that he was a part of that system.
But you know that
he was a trade minister.
He was a trade minister.
And the longest serving trade minister in the history of Ghana.
In practice, looking at the things that are under trade in Ghana, Cocoa Board was under the Ministry of Trade, was taken away when Alan Tremantin was made trade minister, and then it was given to Ministry of Finance, which Ministry of Finance is currently running. The sectors of trade that can empower the trade ministry, all of them, it's being touted to be seen as though it was some sort of intra-sabotage.
That is unsubstantiated allegation.
It is unsubstantiated,
yes.
But when that's what I'm saying, that in my opinion, it looks as though it's an intra-sabotage, because and I think that is what actually happened.
That is
because when you look at the performance of let's look at the performance of the Ministry of Trade and Cocoa Board when it was under the Ministry of Trade, and now compare that same performance of Cocoa Board and the price of cocoa, and then Ghana's production of cocoa when it's been under Ministry of Finance. Since when in the history of Ghana has Ministry of Finance been the one leading or spearheading the trading of industry, where the ones spearheading the exports of
you see,
cocoa.
on that tangent,
wait,
I actually want you to understand that his political...
And then the performance, was
the
good.
Few ones
If you take it away,
he do?
If you take it away...
Okay. Then let me steer this conversation back
just mention...
Okay, Alan K was part of MPP, right?
Yes.
Now, Ghanaians have seen MPP's power. That what the power they've come to show us. Alan was part of them, and now he's out. Can we trust that he's not, maybe, it's like the way Osama bin Laden, right? If we hear that name, maybe even his grandchildren or children.
The name Osama bin Laden and then Alan K.
But let me
learn. So we hear something like, Osama bin Laden's grandson, so Nanaya bin Laden. The very first thing Ghanaians the very first thing people are likely to think is, he's probably like his ancestor, right? So now Alan, who has also been in MPP, for the longest time, starting his own political party, can Ghanaians trust that if he comes into power, probably coming to do a diluted or a more concentrated version of MPP?
Let's look at the MPP, the performance of the MPP, and then the ideologies that...
I'm talking about Alan here.
Yes, that the MPP stood for initially. Alan believes that there's so much in recent times, at the time that he exited from... When you look at some of the reasons that he gave for exiting the MPP, was because he mentioned one as corruption.
No, that is not the fact. Alan went into elections.
That was the fact.
Wait.
That was the fact.
Alan did not leave. Let me correct you.
But one of the facts that Alan Tremantin...
Gentlemen, let us wait.
No,
let him finish, then you also correct him.
I can give you... We can look...
Just finish. Yeah, let's go with your point.
So I'm saying that one of the reasons that Alan, even after losing the election, was saying is that the ideologies that the MPP stood for are not resonating with the current MPP. Now, he cannot identify himself with
them.
Some
Okay.
of them are corruption.
Okay.
And then family and friends.
Okay.
These
So
are
now
some of the
let's hear.
ideologies. And I can find quotes of Alan actually saying it.
Great.
So
Thank
had
you.
an interview-
Now let's have Randolph also share.
Thank you very much. You see, we must be very understanding here. We all know NPP went into primaries. When they went into primaries, Alan did not meet the threshold he was expecting. The people of, or let me say, the NPP delegates, they chose Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia over Alan Kyerematen. And that alone pissed him up. Because
you cannot necessarily say it is him. The thing is that what he has come to say.
Let's Randolph finish.
These are made based purely on sentiment.
Let Randolph finish. Yes, we are having a discourse here.
But he has to.
There are different angles to it. So let's Randolph finish, and then we can continue. Please let Randolph finish. Let Randolph finish.
Alan Kyerematen has come out to say that I am angry because of this.
Let him finish what he's saying, then we can dissect it properly.
Okay, so thank you very much. You see, the fact is that if the allegation or the false impression my brother is bringing up here.
Please.
It's not,
No.
That is why.
Wait.
Gentlemen,
Alan Kyerematen is on record. Alan Kyerematen is on record saying
so
these things.
if
you may assume that I'm not done. Let me then.
Gentlemen, okay.
You see,
thank you. Wait, let's calm down.
No.
We are having a discourse here. Now, we are going to be picking it from objective and subjective perspectives. Please always make sure to use the right words. So I also would not like you to use false. We are all speaking based on what we've heard out there.
I've been making factual statements.
Okay.
I've never mentioned. That's why when you said Alan Kyerematen was pissed,
so,
there's been nowhere that Alan Kyerematen has
we will take a break now for us to relax. Think our words. Thank you. We are taking a break now so that you can relax and rethink whatever you want to say.
Madam Host, he's just heckling me.
But cherished viewers, gentlemen, thank you very much. Now, you can send your comments to our WhatsApp number displayed on your screen. The phone lines will also be opened for you to call and then share in your opinions. You can also send your comments to our live stream on Facebook and on YouTube. We're taking a quick break. We will be right back.
Clog TV, beyond the policy.
Hello Ghana, I am Yayira Awuno, and we are just weeks away from the 2024 general elections. This is a pivotal moment for our nation, and here at Clog TV, we are committed to bringing you the most comprehensive coverage.
As we gear up for this election, our team is working tirelessly to ensure you have all the information you need to make informed decisions. From profile to policy discussions, we got you covered.
We are not just reporting the news to you, we are creating a platform for a dialogue. Our analysts will break down the issues that matter most to you, ensuring you understand the stakes of this election.
As we analyze the political landscape, it is crucial to understand the implications of these policies. Clog TV will provide you with in-depth analysis to help you navigate these choices.
Join us on Poll Watch on Clog TV as we dive deeper into the policies of the candidates and their potential impact on our society. We shall also explore voter trends, territorial preferences, and give you expert insights to make an informed choice this election season.
Dear Clock TV viewers, as we approach these important elections, let's remember that our strength lies in our unity and respect for one another. Every vote is a voice, and every voice matters. Let's embrace this opportunity to shape our future with dignity and peace. May we all commit to peaceful and respectful election process, honoring the principle of democracy and the spirit of community. Together, we can build a brighter and harmonious future. Stay safe, stay united, let peace guide us all.
Hello, brothers and sisters. In approaches, we need to remember that peace has always been the cornerstone of this nation's progress. And so before, during, and after this election, we all need to prioritize peace. We need to prioritize love over conflict, and also unity over division, because elections come and go, but our bond as Ghanaians still remains. And so we need to be ambassadors of peace wherever we find ourselves, being it at work, your communities, or wherever you find yourself. Just know that you represent peace in everything you do. And together, I believe we would have the Ghana we all yearn for. Thank you very much.
Clog TV, Beyond the Policy.
Welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, this is the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, and we're having our main discussion, Election 2024, Matters Arising Part 3. Now, I'm doing this with two of our analysts for the Poll Watch program, which will be aired at 1 p.m. today, and they are in the persons of Mr. Randolph Ifrifa Owari and Mr. Nanayao Asare. Now, while we were on break, we got a few comments coming in, so I will read them quickly and then we can continue our conversation. So TA says, this time around, there's going to be nothing like disregarding. We are going to tackle every suspicious move with utmost seriousness. The leg that moves fast will be seen by the eye that sees fast. Hey. And this is from TAs. Now, Sefas Dosu says, we pray for a peaceful elections. Now, Sefas Dosu again says, should it take a whole day for one to cast his or her vote, for which reason the market needs to be closed down? How sure are the authorities that the market woman will? You can force a horse to the riverbank, but you can't force it to drink. Thank you very much for your comments. Keep them coming in to our WhatsApp number displayed on your screen and onto our Facebook and YouTube live stream. So, gentlemen, I see that the conversation about Alan was a little skewed, so I want to realign this river and flow properly. Now, I'm going to try and strike a comparison with Alan and Indum. Now, let me finish my question. Let's calm down. As president, and then, you know, his role as a third force, and then Alan breaking away from the NPP to come and stand as a third force. How like, let's try and weigh how these, you know, these phenomena would affect their credibility.
You see, thank you. NPP that I know, just like NDC and other political parties, all practice democracy. Democracy in the sense that they don't practice kingship or traditional leadership. Monarchy, where a successor is picked automatically, where we know that when you follow the bloodline, after this person leading, the next person is already known. But this party, or let me say the NPP that I have read a bit about, are people who are democratic. Just like, if you remember, when President Kufuor was a president, he had a vice president. Why is it that Alan was expecting to succeed President Kufuor and not the vice president succeeding the president? If it was to be in that line,
you have shifted this conversation.
Wait. I'm making a point, please.
Or was this
please,
stated that Alan was expecting to succeed?
I'm making
no, we have to make
a
factual
point.
points here.
So, please let us. You remember my question, right? We are weighing the fact that these new aspirants have had some affiliation to both parties at some point. That's for Indum, both parties, working under both. And then Alan was formerly an MPP member, a very instrumental member, I must say. So, with their credibility, how would that reflect on Ghanaians? That is my question.
Well,
so let us answer.
I actually wanted to make a point on that. So, we have to accept the fact that if you want to be part of our Ghanaian election, it is a democracy system we are all practicing. And it is not a kind of monarchy or kind of kingship where a successor is chosen even at birth. You get it? And so one reason why, in terms of the credibility aspect, Alan, one reason why he actually veered off NPP was that he felt, I mean, it was his time. They went into elections. He didn't get the needed vote. But in fact, we could all see that it was an open election where people were asked to contest. He contested and he campaigned. He went across the entire country. He didn't get the enough vote he needed. And he felt bad thinking that he was probably shortchanged in a way. And that is acceptable. That is his own opinion. But then he went through a successful election. That gave him the ballot that he got. But then, coming back, the impression created that he brought up, that was actually the reason why he veered
Will
up.
I be given equal time?
Please, you got a chance to... you got
Will
a
I
chance.
be given equal time?
Please. You got it.
So please, so
you see,
wrap up the point
coming
quickly.
back, talking about credibility, we have established that Ghanaians goes with these two traditional parties, and they have successive years proven to be credible in terms of people who can actually manage our resources. Because yes, as a country, we cannot get 100%.
Yes, that's fine.
Yes, but then considering Indum, he came under his own PPP. Yes.
But even before the PPP, he was under CPP.
He was under CPP. But then the people that, do you need to be the president of another political party to be able to bring out whatever it's in you? Because he was a flag bearer of CPP.
At a point.
Yes, at a point. So what couldn't you do to manage CPP to be a formidable party that your PPP is yet to achieve? So that was the question Ghanaians asked. And
but then you see, with like you said,
I answer on the same
so
question?
I have a follow-up, so you get both. Now, with what you said about the fact that Ghanaians like to follow tradition, and then, you know, it's the two main things, so that may influence. But I think Ghanaians are getting to the point where we are fed up. with both parties, right?
Yes.
Because
and nobody has actually banned anybody from voting for the other parties.
So this is about
the fed up is sometimes Ghanaian we talk, and when we finish talking, we take away all that.
But you see,
but then it should reflect our vote. And successive years have told us that. I mean, how many parties have gotten 2% in our in our general
that's
election?
a valid point. But you see, because of the fact that you mentioned that, you know, sometimes maybe their affiliation to a previous political party may also influence Ghanaians, you know, opinions about them. That's why I'm asking that in a situation where maybe, as we are saying, we are fed up and we know, oh, a former NPP member or a former NDC member is starting a party, would we even want to follow this person as a third force?
Yes. So how many of the people, let me say, the members of his party, his previous party, even believed and trusted him that they followed him to his new party?
Okay.
That also sends a message. So if you were able to leave the party and you have not been able to achieve even maybe 1% of the party population into your fold, it means you don't have even a basis in contesting.
Or it means you are not in power.
So
yes, you are not in control. If you are in control, you should be able to move with the people.
Okay.
And that is how it's supposed to be. So if you weren't able to achieve that, I mean, then you are still not credible.
Now, Nanaya, what's your take as well?
Yes, thank you very much for this opportunity to be given
It's coming to finish us.
the same time as Randolph was
We have
given.
other stories.
I actually calculated the time and you gave him 9 minutes.
I have the prerogative. I can give you 2 seconds if I like.
She is the moderator, so control your show.
Please, all this time you are speaking, you are using your time.
I don't want to talk
2 minutes is gone.
You are using your time.
So we talked about the credibility of Alan. And I started by talking about his treatment under the MPP. When Alan was in the MPP, he was with the Ministry of Trade and Industry. The Cocoa Board was under.
Yes.
You said we shouldn't veer.
So we are trying to.
No, we are talking. You see, I wasn't interrupting.
So he's drawing your attention to
about
the
Ali
fact
Muhammad and then the this thing. No one said anything. But just as I'm also making my submission.
So focus on what you're saying. This is about the credibility. Yes.
We are not talking about.
And I'm starting about.
You said a whole lot that I had a lot to say.
Gentlemen. Thank you.
Well, viewers, you can see whether I'm being treated fair on this particular show by our host.
Let's go. So
you can't talk about the credibility of Alan in the MPP without talking about his role that he played in the MPP and how he was treated under the MPP.
He wasn't treated in any way bad.
Randolph, please. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, so Nanaya, give me a second, yes? So we don't need to.
You gave him the chance to drive the angle of conversations that he wants to actually take. And then you are sort of limiting me to what you want me to say.
Nanaya, what I want to just send across is that we get the whole credibility thing. Let us round it up into something and then talk about its effect. We don't need to, because the time is not enough to talk about all that he has done. Do you understand what I'm saying?
9 minutes, seconds.
Yes, you can talk for 9. You can talk for your 9 minutes.
When is my time? When is my time? There's no time.
Make sure to hit the point.
When is my time? There's no time.
I'm not saying there's no time. I'm saying make sure to hit the point. So yes, he was a trade minister. Everything. What is the effect on his credibility now? So let's go.
Okay, so we cannot talk about the effect on his credibility without seeing the genesis of why he acted that way. That is why I'm talking about.
Are we talking about only Alan?
No, so I had to. I made a comparison between Alan and then
you see how he's interrupting.
Randolph, please.
He's interrupting.
The next time you interrupt, you kneel down.
So
now let's go.
So what I was saying is that you cannot talk about the Cocoa Board was under Ministry of Trade and Industry, which Alan Kyerematen was the head of.
Yes.
We look at the performance of the Cocoa Board. You have your phone. You can actually Google. You have to Google and find out the trends of the Cocoa Board from the period that Alan Kyerematen it was under the Ministry of Trade and Industry. And you look at the performance of Cocoa Board from the time that it was under the Ministry of Finance, and then you realize that is there justification for taking Cocoa Board away from Alan Kyerematen's ministry, or it's just to weaken the ministry that Alan Chamantin was covering.
But is that why we should give him a presidency?
That is one thought.
Randolph.
Is that why he should be a president?
Randolph, please.
No, I mean,
in order to buttress,
Randolph, you weren't interrupted. Let's Nana get his point across.
Of Alan Chamantin leaving the MPP. Now let's talk about this. And I'm in no way advocating for the butterfly movement or anything. I'm just saying facts. The facts of the case. These are Alan Chamantin's own words and why he was actually taken out of the MPP.
Was he taken out or he actually broke away?
So
he left.
So we are going to see whether he was taken out or he had to leave.
No.
So this in 2007 he says, I joined a distinguished group of 17 presidential aspirants to contest in the presidential primaries of MPP. In that election, under very strange circumstances, the electoral process was truncated on the day of the election on account of accusations leveled against me of influencing the course of the elections. That's what he said. This strategy was designed to create disfavor against me in attempts to diminish my popularity and the massive support I enjoyed amongst the grassroots.
The people went to vote.
Randolph.
They voted.
You can see that it was truncated. That's what he said. It wasn't voted.
His word.
All agreed that
that election happened in Lagos.
Gentlemen, you see, this is why I'm saying we should talk about the effect and not the cause, because this is going to happen.
To election, he lost.
You're not being honestly, you're not being
Randolph.
Gentleman's agreement. The person that you are claiming that he went in a gentleman's agreement has come to say this. And you are still saying that
those words are not Bible. In fact,
how are you saying it's not Bible?
They went
how can
into
someone
election.
go into an agreement?
This is not a monarchy.
We are done with this conversation.
He said accusations leveled against me. This strategy was designed to create disfavor against me.
So wait, both of you speaking, how do we get a comprehensive discourse now? So Randolph, please.
And the massive support I enjoyed amongst the grassroots activists of the party.
How does this affect his credibility
despite
as
the
a new...
sacrifices that I made to unite the party, as referred above, there were serious post-primary attacks on my supporters all over the country and an open show of hostility. Now we are looking at why he had to leave.
So he left. We get it. Let's fast forward. He left and everything. Now, how does this affect his credibility with the butterfly movement? How does this rub off on Ghanaians? Well, this is what I want us to talk about.
So looking at, Randolph mentioned that we are in a democratic, MPP, a democratic
political party, the vote and everything,
well,
yes.
I'm not a member of the MPP, I'm not a member of the butterfly movement. I don't know how it is done, but these are facts. These are words that were said.
Yes, so we get that. Now, his credibility, how does that affect Ghanaians? That is what I want us to talk about.
It is going to. So if Ghanaians are actually watching, right, these words of his should actually let them know that he is someone who will not support some things that are...
So yes, that has been established actually, that there were certain issues...
I'll not say anything. I don't think he interjected as much. No, it's okay. Because
there were certain issues that happened in the party. Yes, we get that. But I'm talking about all this, him breaking away. I think Ghanaians know all of that. Him breaking away. What about the credibility we are talking about? How does that reflect on Ghanaians? Because are you going to also now give us the history of Indum's issues? Are you going to give us that too? Because there won't be enough time for that. He didn't give any history. That is what I'm talking about. That the effect of him breaking away from the NPP and becoming his own man now to start a party, how would that rub off on Ghanaians? Him being part, in his past, that yes, I'm an MPP man now, I'm no longer an MPP man.
But why are you not allowing me to talk?
That is what I'm saying.
The conversation to what you want to hear.
That is what the question is.
Allow me to
and I'm asking you that the effect of that, the taint of MPP on him, being now that he's in a butterfly movement and all of that, Ghanaians, how are they going to take it? Now you are taking us all the way back to why he left. We don't need that. We already know he has left. Now, him being his own person.
Why do you think Alan left?
That is not our concern at the moment. There were problems in the MPP.
That he left because
he wanted to start his own thing.
In order to know his credibility.
What is the issue?
In order to know his credibility, in order to ascertain his credibility, you have to look at the ideologies behind his person and then his movement.
And then in order
to understand the ideologies behind his person and his movement, you would have to understand what he stands by and what he does not stand by. What he
Yes,
stands
and
by
now, so
initially when he was
summarize
in
it
the
into what he's
Yeah, that
standing
is all
for
I've been
now.
trying to
But
say.
Yaira,
And then
just a moment.
you're not.
There's
Yes.
a
You're not
saying
allowed-
also.
You see, then you understand. You
There's
let
a
him
saying
talk.
that what?
You let him talk.
There's
It's okay. I rest
there are
my
issues being
case.
raised that
I think we
if
can go
not
on to the
for
next
when you engage
conversation.
much of Alan or all
I think
the
we
things
can
that
go
has
to the next
happened,
conversation.
You realize
because-
that
because
people are equally saying that, just as my brother is saying that, if for Alan it is not him, then it is nobody. That is another.
Okay, fine.
Where are you
This
getting from?
this conversation itself is. So we have.
I mean, in all the records he's mentioned from.
No, I didn't mention even a single record. You didn't allow me to even make a single statement.
So Nanaya,
You've not allowed me. I'm reading someone's statement.
You've read them enough. We are okay with that.
I'm reading someone's statement.
Nanaya,
but you
summarize all of that. Okay, if you will summarize, that is fine. If you will not answer. Now, I also made a comparison.
You are skewed towards.
I'm not skewed towards anything.
No.
It's showing and it's glaring.
Now, let us conduct ourselves.
I'm not being fair on everybody.
Now, I made a comparison between Alan and Indum.
Yeah.
That both of them, have had, some taints of the parties on them. Now, starting their own party.
I think we can go on to the next.
I am asking my question. If you do not want to answer, you can just be quiet.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, like we've had Indum already, he has worked under both administrations. Now, Alan also coming out from NPP. What do you think is going to happen? Because now he is also starting to sound like he's very much against the NPP, talking about let us resist the geopolitical regimes that we have. So, with him being, so the whole question has basically been that will Ghanaians trust Alan? Because even in the past, we've had people, Alan Cash, he used to be popular at a point, Alan K, Alan Cash. Will Ghanaians trust him? Do you think Ghanaians will trust him?
But you see, the thing is not about the individual. The vehicle, when you talk about politics in Ghana, it's not the individual that is leading. It is the vehicle, the individual, that is carrying the individual, the leader. So if you see NDC, NDC is coming with a particular candidate. So there's a vehicle.
Okay.
That vehicle has been tried and tested and has built that trust for many years. NPP is carrying a candidate who has been equally been tried in terms of the vehicle that is carrying the person, in terms of the candidate. Alan currently do not have a vehicle. Do you get it? Carrying him.
So
the
he's not starting, right?
Exactly. And it will be currently as a country. And in fact, it will take a very long year for us to get there as a country to get a third force. Even the developed countries, like US, there are two parties. So getting another person taking in charge of the country, you see, we are learning our democracy from the foreign land in terms of the developed countries.
Yeah.
And we can see from successive elections, the track records, even in terms of the ballots, the final ballots, you can see NDC will be having about 50% or 40-something percent, NPP will having 50 or 40-something percent, and then all the smaller parties, when you put their vote together, sometimes it's even difficult to get 2%.
Yeah, that's true.
It means the country is not ready for any third force, and so they must be able to realize this.
Yeah, but then we also have the system of a coalition government, right?
That is fine, but
is that something Ghana can adopt?
Currently, we equally do not have the requisite how do I call it, the strength for it, because they haven't been able to prove themselves. Even PNC. PNC is even, PNC and CPP are chopped into pieces. They both are not even able to unite themselves to be able to. They all say they are from the Nkrumahs, but they are even divided. So how then can you come bring others who are not even with the same ideology? So it is impossible in that way. But then it is possible if they are able to bring themselves together with one ideology, which is not possible as well.
So Nanaya, with the smaller parties not being able to garner even up to 5% of the votes. Do you think there's a possibility of a coalition government?
For there to be a possibility of a coalition government, then after the election, no single party must have assumed a single majority in terms of the number of votes that they've been able to sort of garner.
Yeah.
But in this particular period of time, just as you mentioned, for this particular election, maybe there's a possibility of it sometime in the future.
Yeah.
Looking at the way the youth and voter have been, especially when you study the trends of the parliamentary voting,
Yeah.
you realize that people are voting for people that they believe they have like some sort of ideologies and all that in the
that they align with.
that they align with per se. So people are voting in that particular line and not based on the political parties that they belong. So when you look at the trend of parliamentary turnouts, and then you look at it's yet to manifest in itself in terms of the presidential one. So I'm sure that with time and looking at that, there's a trajectory. Maybe not now, maybe not the next 4 years, maybe
But
not the
later,
next 8 years, but later.
Oh, let's have hope for the 8 years. Give them something.
Later on in time, it looks as though there's the possibility of that happening. With, for instance, educational policies like the free SHS, a lot of people are now being educated, and then now they are not voting based on tribes and sentiments, but they are going to vote based on policies and principles.
And efficiency.
And all these people, yes, and efficiency. All these people are going to be voting for some time, and then they will be at the end, or they will be at the end of the sort of results of their votes.
Okay.
So maybe not now, but maybe sometime later.
Hopefully 8 years
looks
to
as though a third force may
not 8 years, because
hey, say good things.
Not 8 years, or even in the next 20 years, because currently we even have sport ballots. Even more than the ballot garnered by these candidates.
yes, but it only takes maybe one person whom the youth will believe in and align their policies.
It's a matter of time.
And then majority of the voters, when you look in the voters register, in terms of demographics and age, they are youth. So if you are able to sort of maybe in as much as possible, and now we are youth. We are calling ourselves we are youth. We'll be growing up in the next 16 years.
Please, I'll still be youth.
The ideologies that maybe people or previous people were voting on. I'm from this tribe.
Will change.
I align with this party.
I think it's changing.
It's starting to change, but it's not fast enough.
Yes, so maybe not now, not the next 8 years, not the next 12 years. But it's something that is in the pipeline.
So we have a comment here. It's about you for your Alan issue. So this one says, Alan's departure from the MPP was reportedly due to feelings of betrayal. Nobody should comment.
I'm not going to comment about that.
This betrayal, coupled with his association with the MPP's underwhelming performance, raises concerns about his credibility. Now, this is... You see, this is what I was asking. But anyway, now...
the same point we made.
Okay, so now we have this story here. So Mahama says election results acceptance hinges on transparency and fairness. So the NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama has stated that he will only accept the results of the upcoming December 7 general election if the process is deemed transparent and fair. In an interview with the BBC, Mahama expressed concerns about potential irregularities and violence, emphasizing that a credible electoral process is crucial for Ghana's democracy. He indicated that he would not accept results marred by widespread irregularities or intimidation. Yes, gentlemen.
So, who is it going to?
Any of you can. Please, Nana, let me give it.
For the statements coming out at this particular time, sort of it poses some security risks, because when you actually look at the timing of this particular thing, it's almost going to say that if I hear that there's been rigging or there's been this or that, or maybe there are assertions by maybe some factions that there's been some sort of rigging, there's been some sort of electoral malpractices, then I'm not going to accept the results. So, but now the EC is seen as the referee of the election, and the EC is touted to be fair. So the pronouncements by the EC is what that we should be hinging our hopes on. And then the performance of the EC. So if I come and time again I say that this country's democracy is one of the democracies that has been pushed beyond its limits. We've seen electoral hearings and appeals in courts for time and time again. So now, if he's coming here to say that he's not going to accept, then it's going to say that it's sort of not also trusting the judicial system.
So he's saying, he's saying that it's
conditions.
That's fairness and transparency. So I also have a follow-up question about this. So if Mahama is to win, right, and there are rumors of irregularities or non-transparency or unfairness, do you think his statement will still hold?
So what he said was, if on election day there is widespread ballot snatching, people being beaten, military intimidation, and thugs causing chaos, do you expect me to accept the results? Acceptance will depend on the transparency and fairness of the process. So he's saying that these are the principles
conditions,
or the conditions that he's going to accept the results. So, and also for security reasons we've actually been told that the Ghana Police Service is the only security agency that is mandated or that's supposed to be on the electoral process.
They've even spoken to the private ones that they shouldn't do any intimidations as well.
So we've seen Act 999 putting away or casting away vigilante groups. We've also seen the police giving out statements to show that military must not intervene in this particular
they are only on standby.
Yes, except maybe worst case scenarios when they are called. So now it's going to show that the conditions for free and fair elections have been put in place, both by the Electoral Commission and then our security agencies. So now what we have to do as our part is just to adhere to these principles. And then once the election results are given, I'm sure,
we'll be good to go.
My brother and I, we agree on the same thing. So once the results are given, then we'll be able to
okay, so the phone lines are also opened. Please, when you call, keep your submissions very decorous and tactful. If you call and rain insults on anybody, we will not condone or tolerate such behavior. Thank you. Yes, Randolph.
All right, so what I can say is it's unfortunate the former president is raising some of these issues, knowing that he has been in election or he has been to election on several times. And the issues he's mentioning, I'm not sure we in this country, that has been the mantra of our elections, where all the things that the security situations he's saying.
He mentioned irregularities and things like that.
The situation?
There have been irregularities. Even in Parliament, somebody snatched a ballot box.
Yes, exactly.
Wait.
So Randolph.
Let me make my point.
No, just before you continue,
wait.
I beg you, this one, let me just ask you this.
You have
oh my goodness.
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Okay,
Perfect.
2 seconds.
So Randolph,
Take it.
you are going for an election.
You don't even know what I want to say.
You are going for an election. You yourself, you are going to stand as the maybe president of Clocksag, and then during the election, you realize that you know that you've garnered the delegates to
Has
vote
it
for
happened?
You. No, wait. Before it happens, you are saying that you don't want to see people snatching ballot boxes. I think that should be the concern of every Ghanaian citizen.
So basically, electoral malpractices.
Let me say this.
But if it is free and fair, you accept the results. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay.
See, election is a process. It is not an event.
Okay.
There has been a process, and there are structures that are put in place to make the election free and fair already.
But there are events that make up that process.
I wasn't.
They are,
involved
but
in
you
what
agree that there are events that make that
Okay.
process.
So you see, election is not an event. There
But
is
there
an
are a series of
IPAC.
events that make that
Are
process.
you deliberately doing this?
Oh no, I'm not
Okay,
deliberately
so you
doing
keep
that.
quiet.
So-
But I'm just
Okay,
letting you know.
let's go.
It's a process. It's not an event. There is an IPAC, which involves the two political parties and then who sit or have sat throughout. And this is actually the first elections that almost no candidate or no political party, apart from this, have actually accused the EC of rigging. This is because the EC have done a lot in making things so
But
much
that statement
open.
is not factual.
Wait,
Because
my brother, you were making your point.
Because Cheddar came out and then also
Wait.
ostracized the EC
Wait.
for some malpractices before they came out.
Wait.
So
opened the
basically,
register for everybody
basically,
to say it.
the
So don't
EC
say that-
is also
don't-
under
your
a very
point.
big
don't
eye.
say that
My brother,
no
you made
political
your
party has
point.
come out to.
You made your point, so keep quiet.
to say
If you
something
have
about
anything,
the-
type it on
Gentlemen,
your- on your,
gentlemen,
type it.
gentlemen,
When
please.
you are done, I mean, when I'm done, you can come in.
This
But
is
then,
a serious platform that we don't have to make.
so-
we don't have to make certain
that's your
statements
opinion.
that are
That's
not
your
factual.
opinion.
Okay, so like I said
In as much as
earlier,
possible, don't make
So
statements
there
that are
is-
not
remember,
factual.
there
do we,
is-
okay, do we remember when I said that sometimes when we are making some of the statements, we have to add, yes, if it's in your opinion or as far as you're
Don't
concerned,
worry.
because
Whatever
No, but
statement I put here, it's from me.
You
So-
say that.
No,
you say
let-
that
let
no
us-
political party. Apart
so
from
add
Mahama,
there as far
has
as
said
you are
this.
concerned, so that we
Yes,
know that,
as
because
far as I know,
even the
or as
general
far as I'm
populace
concerned.
also tries
Yes.
to hold the EC
So
accountable.
EC has come out with clear information. And this is the first time they have engaged the citizens on every pros and cons, as in whatever is related to the elections. See, sometimes when we create that false impression, it actually goes against the state institution that is mandated to put things in place. The election is a process because it didn't start today.
Yeah.
Whatever is involved on the D-Day, the political parties are involved from IPAC level to constituency level. That is why there are representatives at the constituency level.
Yeah.
Polling agents are there. Your party agent is there. My party, how do I call it? NPP, NDC, CPP, everybody's party agent is there. So you, from every stage, there is a kind of collaboration, including the security agencies,
Yeah.
even the printing of the ballots.
Can I come in a little
Please, no. Let me land. You are disrupting me. You
Okay.
are disrupting my
to
thoughts.
say
You are disrupting my
Please,
thoughts. Please.
let's.
So, throughout the security agencies, they are there. And so when you finish or you go to vote, what you do is that you cast your vote. There's an NPP agent there, CPP, Chad's agent, NPP agent, they are all there. What they do is that they record after the ballot count.
Yes, we know the general electoral process.
Everybody will record.
And this is sort of digressing from the statement of Mahama.
Those ballots counted are sent to your various parties.
We know
So,
the electoral
yes.
process. So
Wait.
round up to your point
My
now.
point is that under no circumstance through this process is the EC going to change any figure at the National Collation
okay.
Center.
No, so
Let me make my point, please. The
he's
EC,
talking about EC, National Collation Center, and all that.
EC doesn't change figures.
We are not
Your
talking about-
parties
nobody has mentioned that
So-
EC is
elections
So
Mahama's
Mahama's
are won
statement.
at the polling stations.
Yes.
So
okay.
if you do not
Let's
give-
calm
I
down.
think these
Let's
are one of
calm
the
down.
rarest
Let's calm
moments that I
down.
believe
So
in you. I said
Mahama's statement was about fairness and transparency.
And the fairness and transparency happens at the polling station,
Yes,
exactly.
where
Now-
you and all parties' representatives are there.
So-
it is your responsibility.
Yara.
Wait, it is your responsibility as a political party and as a candidate to send credible people to the polling
Yes,
stations
but you
to
see-
give you best records.
Okay.
And
now,
that is the only reliance.
now you know how when we are being
Yara,
realistic.
please
you see, give me a second.
I beg you.
Now, as you mentioned with the electoral process,
Yes.
theoretically, under a democracy, these things should happen seamlessly.
And it
No
is-
changing of,
Yes.
but here on the ground as Ghanaians and what is happening or what has happened in the years, allegations and rumors, Mahama is making this statement. And my question to you, even in the beginning, was that if he is to win, right, and then rumors, you know, or even some irregularities have happened, do we think he's going to accept his win? Because, I mean, from his statement,
that is where I wanted to land.
And
that is where I wanted to land. I wanted to land there because
you've given him the chance to talk. Let me also make this. I'm not going to.
So,
let me make this particular statement, Yara. If you are a thief, right?
Elections are won at the police stations.
I agree with you.
So get credible
shake my hand on this
people at the police station.
I agree with you.
And you don't have
I agree with you. I agree with
Okay.
you. So I'm not saying that this particular statement should be a statement
So you
for
have 30 seconds.
all Ghanaians. All Ghanaians should be saying that on election day, if there is ballot snatching, if someone comes to snatch your vote that you have voted,
does it happen?
People are beaten.
It is something that happens. We have heard it
somebody
happen.
has voted.
The ballot box being snatched.
Even at Parliament, we saw Carlos Ahensa
he did the same, and he is the candidate that we voted for. So imagine the layman.
So this is what he's
saying.
So
these are some of the things.
I'm not even disputing what Randolph is saying about the electoral process and ballots being polls being won at the polls, elections being won at the polls. But what I'm trying to say is that when he's saying that if there's widespread ballot snatching,
irregularities and all that, intimidation,
if there's military intimidation,
there is a court for you to go. If that is the case, so you imagine things and incite your people not to even accept your results.
He's not even saying that
instead of doing the right thing.
No, Randolph, I don't think I agree with you because
this should be the cry of every Ghanaian.
We understand.
I am going to vote. I'm going to exercise my franchise. If I go and vote, and then in the constituency that I voted,
that
my vote is going to be counted.
The police have assured
snatch the ballot boxes.
We understand. Police have assured
everybody all the time. But yet still, we saw at Ayawaso West Wogon.
That is an exception.
So Randolph,
if when they come to Ayawaso Wogon issue that you bring in, we understand there were people who were brought from the north.
So, okay.
Is that also factual?
Gentlemen,
there's boys who were brought in to fight or to snatch ballots, and they were prevented.
Exactly.
And
now,
prevented. So what will happen is that, as the security have said, if you are not mandated to be a security officer,
these are measures
these are measures.
But he's saying that.
But then, as a candidate,
gentlemen, let's tone down.
If it happens that you've gone to vote and then ballots have been snatched, would you accept that your vote should be?
So the security.
Basically, we shouldn't engage in. We have a call. Do we have a call on the line?
Okay.
Do we have a call? Okay, we lost the person. So I think what I understand is that we've had these irregularities happen every now and then over the years. Now, because of that, he's saying that if it becomes rampant, because we know that these politicians tend to incite their followers to instigate.
He's building the minds of his followers.
So he's not. There are different angles to this. The whole thing is all these irregularities, if they are to happen and it's a little more rampant than usual, he would not accept their vote.
Baumia should say same.
So basically, we should all just adhere to the rules.
I think with this particular statement,
police are in control.
No, I think with this particular statement, if you have no malice intended or you don't have any malice
in this case,
to actually occur, then I think Randolph.
So no, every
presidential candidate.
Mine is that.
So
every parliamentary candidate.
Mine is that
our time is up. So let us.
Our
time is up, Randolph.
Their members.
Yes, they should
not to involve themselves into this.
Now our time is up. So we will take your closing remarks. I'm sure we'll pick this up again on Poll Watch.
Yes.
So please, each of you has 30 seconds.
Okay. So
you can't exceed.
So what I would say is this is a very important election. And it's an election that you and I, our dignity and our future as a country or as a people depend on it. Prepare yourself, go and vote peacefully. And then get yourself involved. And then after the elections, you go there, you get counted, and then you go home briefly. In fact, one thing is that when you are even celebrating, it shouldn't be so that at least it will irritate somebody. But then if you also called to go and pick class or go and do any other thing that will disrupt the peace of this country, I believe it will not be acceptable. There's a law court, somebody even incited just on social media and been jailed for 10 years. It means yours might go beyond that.
Yeah.
So just be cautious. And then, go with policies. You have 4 years to vote again. So this time, vote wisely for your own good and the future of your own children.
Yeah, thank you very much. Nanaya, what are your closing remarks
to
to
I'm sort of going to toe the same line.
So that's okay. Let me continue.
Gentlemen, closing remarks to you fight. Please, let Nanaya give. He has another angle. It is our time is up. Let's go. Let's go. Nanaya, please give your closing remark.
What I'm saying is that it's election time, and it's time for once again for us to exercise our democratic rights. This is the time that for once in 4 years you're going to live with the consequences of the decision that your thumb is going to make. So you'd have to, in as much as possible, exercise your franchise with the mindset of the ideologies of the person that is coming with. And then I also like to remind everybody about what the law says and about
30
section
seconds.
208
So summarize what the law says for us, please.
Of Act 1960.
30 seconds. You are done.
So it says that a person who publishes or reproduces a statement, rumor or report which is likely to cause fear and alarm to the public or disturb public peace commits an offense.
Please.
And it says that the penalty for publishing false information that causes fear and alarm and disturb public peace is imprisonment to a term of 3 years.
So basically,
we are saying that there are repercussions. There are repercussions to every action that you make.
Thank you.
So if the way you put it,
the time is up. So please,
My brother wants to say we should have a peaceful
so please go to the polls with the mindset of being just going to exercise your franchise. When you're done, don't wear party colors. Go home, and then when you want to come and observe the votes counting, you just come and observe. And if your candidate wins, you just celebrate in a demure manner.
Thank you.
Vote well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Gentlemen.
Look at the conditions
Thank
that
you.
you're in, if you and the ideologies of the political parties.
So this brings us to the end of the Cocoa Digest morning show. If you don't keep quiet. Thank you so much for joining us here. It was very, very educative and intense here. We will continue this conversation on Poll Watch at 1 p.m. with most likely these two analysts, or hopefully Clement would also join us. Now, we would like to say a big thank you to our sponsors, our management, viewers. Thank you for your comments. Thank you, every single person that joined hands to make this show a success. We wish you the best, and of course, go out and vote wisely. Do have an amazing day ahead. Now, a peace song going to be played right after this, so enjoy.